This week on the Always Gametime Podcast, we take a look at the rise in popularity of the Just Chatting section on Twitch, new games releasing soon, and a helpful tool for content creators. We're also going to talk about the most subscribed to streamer and why you should know them. Hey everybody, my name is Ben, and welcome back to the show. Of course, the show just wouldn't be the same without our terrific co-host, Ryan. Ryan, say hello to all the people listening.
What's up? I'm glad to be. We're back. We're back 2 weeks off, and now I am ready to go. Right? Just got over a cold. Just had part of my brain swabbed for a COVID test. I am negative and ready to go.
Yeah, that is probably the best news that we have all week. So glad that you're feeling all right. Thank you for joining me here tonight. And we are back. Thank you to all the live listeners for showing up. We appreciate you. And as always, you guys can catch us on everywhere that you get your podcasts. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we've got a great week here for you guys planned out. Super excited to be back in the seat, going over news and fun events that happened, especially in this longer absence. So I figured we'll just get into it. One thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm genuinely curious to see if you've played these. I'm leaning towards no, but some big news for Kingdom Hearts fans. All the games are out now on PC official release. And have you ever played Kingdom Hearts at all?
I have not. So growing up, I was a lifeguard for like 5 to 6 years, and I taught swimming lessons. Literally, I only taught swimming lessons like 4 kids, but all 4 of them were obsessed with this Kingdom Hearts game, and I never played it. But now, having a little kid that's about that age, I'm going to play through them. I think my son James and I are going to start them up, and we're going to play through them. I think it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of cool things that come with this PC release. I've also, just by the way, never played these. I have a friend, shout out to you, David, really? Who loves them. He's even got like a Keyblade, I think, in his room. And
I hear their quality.
Yeah, no, I hear they're really good. And I think that they have this stigma of being like a kid's game. But when I've watched him play them in the past, it looks like really cool. But the PC, not only is the PC version coming out with a discount right off release on the Epic Games Store, nice. It can run at higher frame rates than console, obviously higher than 60.
Awesome.
Yep, it supports keyboard and mouse control and has faster load times and better textures. So
that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. And that's already been released, correct? So yeah,
that's out right now. So if you're a big fan,
go get it.
What are you waiting on? Yeah,
let's go do it. Yeah. That's exciting news. I mean, so now another piece of exciting news, and it depends what side you're on, but Microsoft's trying to purchase Discord. The rumor about the latest purchase amount is that they're offering $10 billion, right? So Discord's obviously this, Discord is now a competitor with Slack and Microsoft Teams as well. They're trying to bust into the business market, but they've always been known for game chat, right? I'm really curious. Part of me is like, yes, that's great. I mean, that's brilliant for Microsoft to try to buy Discord. That's good. But part of me wants Discord to stay its own thing and become the standard for gaming chat, right? Just imagine if PlayStation and Microsoft both integrated Discord into their consoles, and then we could use Discord across anything, across these multi-platform games. Like for me, for Apex, right? Whenever I'm playing with someone, I always have a hard time hearing them if they're on another console. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if we get any like nice integrations from the, I guess it would be not partnership, that's the wrong word, but takeover. At the same time, I think Discord has constantly been pushing out innovative features and improving the platform. So I'd be curious to see what would happen. Man, that's a lot of money. I mean, that is a lot million. Of money. Ooh. So yeah,
that's impressive. So yeah, we'll keep the updates going as they come in. But that's not official. That's just Microsoft kind of showing their cards a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And while we're on the topic of lots of money, Ryan, I don't know how much you've heard about this, but we have to cover this on the show. And that, of course, is a little-known streamer, Ludwig, not sure if I pronounced it wrong. I didn't hear about this until this week. #1 subscribed to channel on Twitch as of a couple days ago. And that is because they have come together to create this super hyped up event, Subathon, which, if you guys are unfamiliar with that or don't watch a lot of Twitch, people can subscribe to your channel for money. And every time they do that on Ludwig's channel, it extends this countdown timer. And it was only like 20 seconds per sub, which you think like, okay, that can't go
20
wrong.
seconds.
And shortly into the stream, I think the counter started climbing up towards like the 69-hour mark. So now we're talking multiple days, which doesn't happen on Twitch. And that stream, let me actually just do a live check now, because when I had last checked was down to about 30 minutes left on the countdown timer. And they're still live now with 14 minutes left to go. So you guys know the internet, you know Twitch. Everyone here loves the troll. And I feel like every time this counter even gets close to 0, someone will just drop like 100 gifted subs to like re-up. And so this is crazy. I didn't know anything about the guy before this event. What about you, Ryan?
Oh, no, I heard of Ludwig. Someone, throughout my internet of friends recommended him before, but, at that time he was small, right? I mean, he's a newly full-time streamer at that point. Now to hear that, what's the sub count at?
When I last checked, the sub count was at 167,000 subscribers. And they didn't start full-time streaming until 2019. They had been an internet personality. They had done some esports competitions as well as commentating. And they've been on the rise, but they quit their job and started full-time 2019. So
yeah, Smash Brothers, right? Yeah, just nuts. Like, come in, and is he going to push the 200,000 subs mark? I mean, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that, right? No, this is the all time.
I think this is like all time, and it's actually only a number that I think 4 or 5 other streamers have passed. Yeah. In history, so it's pretty crazy to go from. I want to go and do some research, maybe post show, or if you guys know in the chat, let us know of what their sub count was before this event, and then see what it is at the end of the event. And they've actually done a cool breakdown of what they're going to do with the money. A lot of it's going to charity, a lot of it's going to the mods who have been helping to support it while he sleeps on stream, and keep it engaging for the viewers. And it's just crazy to me to see, like, I guarantee you half the people that are in the chat now didn't know about this stream either and have just hopped on the bandwagon from like,
oh, for sure.
What's this guy doing? Wait, what's happening? You know? And so it's really cool to see, but man, that's wild.
I hope he doesn't have any plans for the next few days. Man.
Oh man, yeah, he's gonna have to take like a mini vacation. I mean, I remember when this first got announced, people were saying that they wanted to make it go a month long so that all those gifted subs they did before could then resub and it continue to extend the timer.
No!
So luckily they've adjusted their strategy. I think they've even reduced how long a sub extends it for.
Oh geez, so he's backing out a little bit. Yeah,
just a little bit, but had to cover that on the show. That's just crazy to see.
That's an eternity. That's forever streaming, man. Speaking of being in one place for a long time, right? I'm a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, which is made by Kojima and all of his productions. They're losing their whole or their main audio technician, right? Their producer, I think is the correct term. He's been there 10 years. He'll now be going to freelancing as a composer on his own. Good luck to him. I just wanted to mention him because I admire his work and everything that goes into those games is always so, always brings you in so deep. So I just want to give him a little shout out quickly. And yeah, good luck to you and wish you well.
Yeah, I know those games are always so cinematic and music's such a big part of that. So I'm sure I'll have a huge career still, but yeah, interesting to see. And then something I had to talk about this week, near and dear to both Ryan and I's heart, is Call of Duty Warzone had a little bit of an update. You guys know this game is famous for how big their patches are and their updates for the game. So luckily, on PC specifically, I'm not going to focus on console too much because I think the numbers were slightly reduced. If you only had the free version of Warzone, this update came in at a record size of only 52 gigabytes, the size of maybe 3 other AAA titles for your computer. However, if you had the full game of Modern Warfare and Warzone, your update was 133 gigabytes this last week. So hope you made space.
If I was back in my hometown, that would take me like 2 days to download. Like there'd be it'd take forever with that slow internet. Man, tinfoil hat here, but you know what their strategy is, right? Their strategy is if only Warzone fits on your console or computer, you can't play any other game. That's your choice. You can only play Warzone. See,
that's a good strategy. They should hire you for like a marketing position. Well, my thing is exactly what you said. Before I had great internet, that when I was growing up in high school, I think my download speeds would maybe be around 200 down, which was still really good compared to some of these like rural spots. But to download anything would take an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? Now with this update, like I can't imagine being a kid playing Call of Duty after school and being like, I have to wait till Thursday now. It's Monday. I have to wait till Thursday to play my game. It's like, it's just crazy. But all jokes aside, I think that actually one thing that did come through this patch that they've been talking about is their efforts to actually reduce file size of the main game in its just full state and updated state. So you got to take a little bit of the bad to get to the good and do this update. And I know that they're working hard to kind of reduce file size, but man, that's wild. It's a big game, to be fair. I think it's one of the most ambitious games we've seen in years, but man, no one wants to wait through that.
I mean, it's this and Grand Theft Auto 5 online, right? I mean, these are two highly ambitious, and you understand why they're so large. But yeah, I mean, it's been the last 6 months they've been trying to reduce file size, and yet they come out with a 55 gig, update. It's we'll see where they go. In other updates, so I mentioned in one of our last shows that Sony's MLB The Show, which used to be an exclusive for the PlayStation, is now going to the Xbox. Well, if you had any interest in this, don't purchase or pre-order. It is going to be on the Xbox Game Pass now on release, which is April 20th. So that's kind of big news. I mean, that is really kind of just sticking it right to Sony. It's like, hey, we got this because of the MLB. Now we're going to put it for free or not free, but whatever on their Game Pass. It's quite the play by Xbox, and I like it.
Yeah, Team Xbox. I mean, I'm Team everything, but cool. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I like it. So I had some other notable game updates. One that's just always got a soft spot in my heart. And No Man's Sky released a multiplayer update. Basically, it's like think of Amazing Race in space, right? So you start together at one planet and you kind of have a variety of resources, and then you basically get to an end destination and you're completing challenges throughout it. So that's kind of fun if you're looking for a Zen type game to play with friends. This is it for you. Now, the other one, I only have a few notes on here, but I think it's a much bigger topic, is Cyberpunk has made a lot of big changes, right? They have their 1.2 release now. And the list of things it's 100 long, right? I mean, there's from police being more realistic when they show up instead of just appearing. There's vehicles less clunky and they don't get stuck. There's key bindings now that you can actually change, right? I mean, it's just very realistic changes they've made now. But one of the bigger news, like before I got on it, Red, is that they're canceling their multiplayer. So when you hear that, Ben, what do you think about the lifespan of this game?
The lifespan was already ruined on launch. I mean, you look at this list of patch notes, and in my opinion, like half this stuff should have been in the game before release. Now, that's very hard when you've been working on a game for 8 years and you're trying to push things and get this like updated release. But at the same time, I mean, I can't feel that much sympathy for him just because I mean, I know COVID took a hit, but there's no amount of excuses that can lead to like the performance issues that we saw in release, the disappointed fan base. And it's like, okay, well, here's this major update. So there's some promising news maybe for the game, but that update comes around the same time as the announcement that multiplayer is canceled indefinitely. And it's just, I've already lost all interest. I haven't seen anyone that's been like, man, Cyberpunk was a revolutionary game or anything. I don't mean to hate on it if you enjoyed it, but it's just, it's disappointing.
It is. I still want to play it, but they were talking that this would be the next money printing, game for them, where they would pop out an online game like it'd be, it'd rival Grand Theft Auto 5 online. And now that they're canceling that, I mean, it makes me wonder if they're going to cut and run.
Yeah.
Well, right? Are they just going to do their 2 updates and be done? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on it. I mean, I was interested in purchasing the game, but now, I'm kind of second guessing it a little bit, moving it down my list a little bit. But it's something to watch.
I laugh when you introduce this topic because my friend, shout out to you, Christian, took a screenshot of all the patch notes and sent it to our community Discord. And it was so long and expanded, like you couldn't, in the small form, you couldn't read anything. Like it just was like, it's like a textbook of patch notes, and I've never seen that before. So it was very
it's like
amusing.
Patch notes for a beta. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it should have been. Yep. All right. Should we get to our main topic tonight?
Yeah, let's dive into it. I'm ready.
I was excited. All right. I really had to talk Ben into, I didn't really have to talk him into it, but he wanted to read my notes before he agreed to do this talk. And it's just a nice civil conversation about the new things we've been noticing at late night just chatting section. So I have a good friend of mine who I won't mention, but we noticed a certain type of content popping up. Without tiptoeing into it, I'm going to dive right into it. Right, it has been a certain group of people that have been streaming with inflatable hot tubs and that kind of variety. Now, here we don't judge. We have no problem with this type of content. And to face the reality in the numbers, right, nearly 70% of the Twitch audience is male. Right, so they're kind of catering to a group right there. That's fine. But there are two big things I noticed when kind of, two things that my buddy and I noticed. One is these channels play whatever music they want, right? There's no DMCA strikes that I've seen. So, I kind of tiptoed in there, peeked around a little bit. And when asked about the music, here's a quote. "I don't care. Twitch won't do anything to me," end quote. When asked about playing this music. Now, tinfoil hat here. Do you think Twitch is ignoring this because they are so lucrative and it's just a little bit of music? Ben, what do you think?
So, yeah, I think first off, I'd like to say, from that streamer's perspective, I think it could have maybe been a coin flip whether they meant because they're too big or they're a small streamer, So I do want to remember that in this analysis.
Yep. It was an average size. Yeah.
But I've been quoted multiple times saying with bigger streamers, Twitch has protected them in the past simply because of the amount of money that they're making Twitch. And, I don't think it's always that way. I'd like to think that they get it right sometimes and they get it wrong sometimes. But we've seen lighter penalties than what the community would deem justifiable to larger streamers in the past. And part of me has to wonder if that's because they're racking in money for Twitch and for themselves. And so it is interesting. I also did a little bit of investigation because I hadn't seen it. I don't watch a lot of just chatting in the category in general. I kind of have my select streamers I watch. And sure enough, I went on late night and it was just, I would scroll and there would be no streams without people in hot tubs just talking to chat. And so it's one of those things where you see a trend and it blows up and people are like, I could do that. And they get on and it's great. And, again, Ryan kind of already stressed this. Not knocking the content at all. I think that it's interesting to take a look like at the analytical side of how it will impact the platform. But they're not breaking any rules. They're making tons of money. And, people are enjoying the content. They wouldn't be watching if they weren't, right? So in any piece, I want to hear more about what you have to say about it. But yeah, I think it could be just because of how much money they make doing it. So
True. Yeah. So you're kind of with me in that tinfoil hat where Twitch might be just looking the other way right here. I agree. And that's not right. I mean, that's always what the complaint from us is going to be, is when someone's treated differently than us, we're going to have an issues with that. Now, the other concern I had was, now all these content creators, they push, and it seems to me like it's such a large amount than everyone else. They're pushing their viewers to other platforms, right? I think that's part of why they're risking the DMCA as well, because even if their Twitch goes down, they've pushed, X percent, at least above 50% of their audience to another platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or a place where only a fan can subscribe to get content. If you know what I mean, hint, hint. So, if I were Twitch and I was seeing that my partners or even affiliates were trying to push people off the platform, I would have a problem with that. I would kind of wonder if there would be any legal ground for them to be punished for this. And as someone, who streams on Twitch mainly, I'm concerned for them pushing people off of Twitch as well, because that the one benefit of having them on Twitch is they're bringing people to Twitch that might not be on Twitch normally, and now they're pushing them off, which could be counterproductive. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, so one of the major reasons I'm so happy to have you as a co-host on the show, because I hadn't even thought of it from that lens of, if I worked at Twitch and we have X amount of partners pushing other platforms outside of us, is that bad for growth? And so I loved that perspective. I thought it was very interesting. I'm curious to see what those of you watching the podcast would think about that, because we live in a very real age of grind and hustle and make your money, and so I think there's going to be a lot of support for for sure. And me, I have this other perspective as a streamer who in my affiliate contract can't stream the same content to outside platforms, and being under those restrictions, again, it's one of those things where they're riding a line of not really breaking any rules, but is Twitch going to eventually address this movement? And I think they're actually, please someone in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there has been a streamer that was under a temporary ban for promoting OnlyFans, and I could be wrong about that because I don't remember the exact streamer's name or like have all the details here in front of me, but there was something that went down where it was directly related to them having an account, and so it could have been maybe like they had some content exposed. I don't know what it was, but it's interesting that they'll draw a line in that particular instance and then still have these streamers who are promoting. And, it doesn't necessarily affect me. I don't stream in just chatting. But the other side of this coin is, if I was someone who did a lot of talk show stuff or did just chatting, well, now all the exposure under that category has been eaten up by these hot tub streams. And so I am interested to see how streamers in that category are faring with this new rise of this trend as well, too. So it's just, there's a lot going on with it. And I'm, it's definitely something worth noting. If you've spent any amount of time on Twitch, you've probably noticed I'm hearing a lot more coverage on it on the internet now. So.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and I'll be following it a little bit as as time allows, and I don't enjoy those types of streams because the conversation isn't always there that I want, but it's still interesting to see where Twitch is going. And if but the one bad part about Twitch is they don't do any communication on this. You can't reach out to a community advisor and see what they think about this. So I'm kind of, I kind of think the conversation might die with us, but if you have anything to say about it in chat, that would be great. I love reading those comments.
And I'm going to turn down now. We're not doing any kind of community goal to get me in a bikini in a hot tub on this podcast. So
I was this close, chat.
Cool. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments. As always, feel free to join us on Discord. We'd love to hear from you guys there off the stream as well. Super interesting topic. And I want to also do some game announcements this week. We're going to do our Games Radar segment here, just to bring it back to some gaming. And the first one I wanted to talk about was this game coming out called Oddworld Soulstorm. And this is a game that I've been familiar with. I've seen some content in the previous games in the franchise. Actually, oddly enough, back on, I want to say it was my PlayStation 1. I could be wrong about that. But I remember playing one of these games as a child and not knowing what the heck was going on. And so we have this game coming out on April 6th, and it is a continuation of their franchise. And it was one of the games that was actually announced at the Sony State of Play that we covered a few episodes back. And it looks really cool. I don't have many notes on this game, but it's something that it looks kind of like an action adventure puzzle platformer style game, which are things that I've played in the past, and just wanted to get some coverage on it and maybe see what you guys thought about it. I'm curious to see if anyone in our chat knows this game at all or has heard anything on it, because I know that it's one of those that has kind of like a niche fan base supporting it. And have you played any by chance?
I've not. Their tagline always interested me, right? It's not what one can achieve, it's what we can all do, or something of that nature, right? Not me, us kind of momentum with it. So I've always been interested in playing it. So I'll maybe check out a stream or two of this and see where it takes me from there.
Yeah, I've seen some gameplay mechanics where like you as an individual character are what seemingly controlling a horde of people around
Yes.
you. And so I like I said, puzzle platformer, I'm in. You got me there. So the
Nice.
next game, which we've also covered on the show previously, has made its official release, and that is Outriders. And I made a joke in that podcast about this being like Destiny 3 because the games looked super similar. I ended up doing a stream later that night in the open beta, and my suspicions were completely confirmed that this looks and feels a lot like a Destiny game, so much to the point where I was pleasantly surprised today to go through the category and see one of the most, what I would say is probably like famous Destiny content creators, Glad, was playing this on stream. And I know it just came out like a day ago, so maybe he's still kind of doing like his first like impressions of the game, but it was just so much confirmation for me that, okay, yeah, I was right about this basically being Destiny, because Glad, the Destiny guy, is checking it out. So that being said, it is pretty fun. From what I played in the beta, I had a good time. Something I would definitely play on PC versus console if you guys have the means to. I think that it kind of lends itself towards that a little bit more, and I had a good time with it. The intro is a little bit slow, but there's a lot of progression, and it's definitely one of those looter shooter games where you're constantly upgrading your kit, doing missions to try to get random drops for lucky things. And I think it's got some decent life on Twitch. I mean, I think it started out with 64,000 viewers on the morning of release, and when checking it again this afternoon, it had dropped to about 55,000. And so I'm not worried about those statistics at all. I think that it's got room to grow, if anything. So cool game.
No, definitely looks interesting. I mean, just like you said, Glad is one of the first streamers that brought me to Twitch was for Destiny. It was King Gothalion. He's on Facebook now, but I checked him out today. He was also streaming it. To me, he was a big Destiny streamer as well. So yeah, I think Outriders is going to pull a lot of Destiny streamers over, and sometimes that's all it takes to get that momentum rolling.
Absolutely, yeah. You couldn't have said it better myself.
Quick question with it. What's the group size, and are they going to do raids and big events like that on Outriders? I guess I didn't know enough about it to answer that, because I think that was a big pull for Twitch and Destiny, when those events happen.
Sure. So this is one of the things I'd like to defer to the community, who's maybe put in a little bit more time than I have in just the beta. From what I saw, there was 4 different class types. So I would assume that the party size would be similar to Destiny, anywhere between the 4, maybe 6 range. And I believe they have already confirmed upcoming quest lines and multiplayer events as well. So yeah, let us know. Again, probably not something I'll play too much of. I did love Destiny 2. But it's just one of those time games where you gotta know what you're doing, loot, rerun missions, and I just can't dedicate.
Daily.
Yeah, exactly. Couple more games on the list. The Binding of Isaac has come out with what I believe is its final DLC pack, which every time they come out with DLC, it revolutionizes the game, adds characters, adds enemies, items, and this is a pretty classic roguelike dungeon crawler. So whenever you get new items, new bosses, it really changes up the game for those diehard fans who've been playing it since 2014, mind you, was the initial release of this game. Still being updated, still loved by fans everywhere.
Yeah.
And it came out on just the 31st of March. Yeah, it was just a couple days ago, and the category has already, on Twitch specifically, has already boomed in viewership and people participating in the game, up to 41,000 viewers from as little as 2,000 to 3,000 on its low times before this update. So really cool to see, and I will be playing this. So
yeah, definitely looks fun. I've always liked those roguelike kind of games, but Binding of Isaac is the one I've tried. I need to pick it up and go through it, because I've heard great things, and I feel like I remember when this game was released, and it's just hasn't gone away since.
Yeah, super cool lore behind it too. I mean, I don't want to spoil like anything for anyone out there. Like it's one of those games, the less you know when you jump in, that initial shock factor I think is really big and what sells a lot of people on the game. But definitely feel free to check it out, especially if you guys already have it. It's $15 on Steam. And I think you need the previous DLCs. I could be wrong about that, but check it out. And then this next one is a treat, Ryan. We have a new free-to-play, character-based team shooter game on the horizon here, coming out with its early access in just 13 days. Yeah, this one is called Drifters Loot the Galaxy.
Hold on, I gotta write that down.
Yep.
Right.
It is really cool, actually, from what I've seen. There's only been limited gameplay. They've actually had these timed windows that people can, because you can already download the game, but you can't play until they, like, I guess, flip the switch and let you in for some play testing. But it looks cool. It's heavily emphasizing movement mechanics and fast-paced engagements. And what I mean by that is every character, regardless of which, like, character you choose to play as in the multiplayer, has like thruster packs and grappling hooks. So if you weren't a fan of Advanced Warfare, you're not gonna like this. Or Quake. Man. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all right. Well,
it's
I'm less excited now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're all right. I'll give it a try.
Watch some gameplay.
No, you got to just dive into those games and see where it goes.
Well, it's free to play. Worst case, you download it, only play it for a little bit. I did want to bring it up though because I have a lot of fun with these games, and I'm a little scared for it because you look at the official Twitter, and I think it's like in the hundreds of people that are following it, and I mean it's not even out yet, and it just seems like one of those games that's going to be out. They're going to incentivize a few Twitch streamers to play it. They're going to, you know, people will see it for a day or two, and then it's going to drop off.
Hey, pay us to play it. If you can't go high enough, I mean, just come on down. It's fine. Go a little bit down on the viewer count.
Exclusive piece.
Exclusive, yes. You can have all 8 of my stream hours.
Yep. So it looks really good though, and again, I hope it's got legs to it. I hope that it finds success on launch. Let us know what you guys think. Watch some gameplay. Those of you at home who are more interested in it, it looks like a really fun, fast-paced time. So,
and the price tag's right, like you said, free to play. Give it a try.
Yep. A quick note on that: free to play in early access. I believe it will be free to play on launch as well, but in case they change their minds or do anything, I want to leave that open on the
disclaimer.
Table,
Yep. All right, so we have a pretty big streamer tip of the week. I've been kind of hounding Ben on this for a while, but it's been, it's really progressed. So there's this tool called Athenascope, right? Athena, like the goddess of war who came straight out of Zeus's forehead, right? Athena. So it's a great AI that generates highlights and clips from your stream. So you can stream right from your PC right to this Athena, or stream to Twitch, and then Athena will then pull it from Twitch and create those highlights. I found this a couple of years ago, like right when it was released, and I enjoyed it. It was really buggy at the time, but that was kind of when I was really into the beginning of Apex, and that's kind of where it formed around was Apex in that release. So they offer this service for a multitude of multiplayer shooters. So there's Apex, Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, Valorant, and then they're kind of going into the different categories as well. So they do Rocket League, Fall Guys, NBA 2K is kind of in the beta now, and I'll be interested to see how that goes. But Athena is one of those things that there's no reason not to do it because they do all the work. You look through the clips, maybe it'll give you some social media content to put out there, a little video to post like as you go live. They implemented a new tool where you can put it as your starting now screen or your be right back. So it puts a bunch of videos together or clips together, and it'll just run through them. And even now, lately, their newest update has been a showcase where they put music to it and kind of do unique editing to it too. So it's been a lot of fun. Ben, are you satisfied now? Are you happy with Athenascope now?
I am filled with so much regret that I have not hopped onto this tool earlier. And Ryan, like he said, has been telling me about it for months now, maybe even, years, probably from the first time you mentioned it. And
it's been a while since it came out, and the improvement's just amazing.
Yeah, that's one piece I wanted to speak on, because the first time I checked it out, they had, obviously their watermarks run everything, which is fine. They're growing a new tool and it's a free service. The transitions that they'd use were what I would say it was a little cheesy. But since my return to using it in just the last couple of days, I've been blown away at how much time this can help you save as a content creator, and just as using this as a productivity tool. Huge disclaimer, this is not like a hashtag ad or anything. We just obviously on the show, reach out. On the show, we just always want to give you guys, tips on how you can be better at your craft. And this is something that has improved my life in the last week. I mean, I will take, there's so many facets of the tool I want to talk about here quickly, but you can take your Twitch stream directly to it, and it will go through, and depending on the game, it has some kind of algorithm that determines where the highlights are, and then it segments it into clips. And it's not perfect. A lot of the time they get it right, and sometimes they'll crop out pieces if the clip is too long that you'd like to incorporate. Well, guess what? There's an edit button that you can click on to then go into a timeline and drag and include content that you would like, and then hit save, and it'll redo the clip for you. And it's super convenient. A couple of workarounds that I've done in the past, there's occasionally when a clip won't let you edit, it just kind of freezes. You can still look. It tells you the time that you started streaming, and it also has timestamps for all the clips. So in the event that I can't edit a clip directly through Athenascope, I can manually figure out where in my VOD that clip occurs on the Twitch broadcast and highlight it myself through Twitch. And that saves me so much time, because now I'm not rewatching my VODs to see where the content happened. You know, I'm not having to type /marker while I'm streaming to flag a crazy moment that just happened. You know, they literally are doing all the work. And something else that I thought was crazy is I can't always be playing games on stream. I'm oftentimes playing Valorant with my friends off stream during the day, things like that, on the weekends. And you can stream directly to Athenascope. So it'll do the same thing that it does for your Twitch, and you can be completely offline. You can incorporate different things. You don't have to have your OBS like Twitch stuff set up on it. It can be just gameplay. And you can have all this great content, promotional content for your Twitter, for TikTok. And so something that I'm going to be doing, and what I've been doing, is I've been gathering an archive of my best clips from Valorant lately. And I'm going to start uploading to my TikTok again and trying to push for more growth to my personal channel. And it's just a really crazy, powerful tool that's free. And even we talked about the showcase. Super cool. You can pin clips from that they've generated that are your favorite, and at the end of each week they'll generate like a little music montage for you that's like perfect
montage
for Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. One feature they need to add is just the straight up ability to upload, right? They don't have that ability right now, so you can't be completely offline to do it. You do have to be streaming to them, or to Twitch, or to YouTube of some kind to get that on there. So, and I want to bring up one other thing too. Even if you're not a content creator, this would be a fun thing to just have. Like, if I stopped streaming on Twitch today, I would still stream to either straight to Athena, but let's say I'm just on my console and I don't have a PC, you could just stream to some no-name Twitch account and then hook that up with Athenascope, and there you have your own clips of your own gameplay right there. I think that's tons of fun. It brings a lot of fun to passing around to your friends that you might be playing with or against or something like that. It's just a really great tool, and I think it's very underutilized across the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't seen anything on this, only through your introductions, and it's crazy. And you're totally right about offline application. I show my clips to my friends all the time when I want to brag, and I like to rewatch my own content. I'm one of those people who like relives the moment, and it's really cool. And you guys should check it out, and let us know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, I'm sure that there's still a lot of things that they're working on to improve upon the platform too, so it's a really good time to get in while they're still developing things. So
yeah, it's great. I look forward to seeing where they're going, because every month has been a big improvement on the last.
Yeah.
So Ben, what are you playing nowadays?
Well, if you know anything about me, you know that I am once again addicted to Valorant. There's something about it, man. It's so competitive. It's split-second decisions. I'm not an amazing gamer by any means, but sometimes when I play Valorant and I have a round that goes really well, I feel like I'm better than Shroud. So it's just, I can't describe how much fun I have playing it, and my community has actually been super supportive of all the Valorant content lately, so I think I might just lean into it and make it my new mainstay for just a little while longer. But what about you, Ryan?
Nice. I've liked it. I am all in on Apex. I'm not even pretending to play anything else. It's Apex 24/7. Mobile, I've picked up this 3-match Marvel game now. It's always something. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. A little bit of Among Us. I got the wife on that. That's kind of fun to play with. Maybe we need a community game of Among Us. I think a joint community game of Among Us would be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Sure.
It's gonna be Apex now tonight. I assume Valorant for you tonight.
Yep, that is correct.
Let's get it. Let's grind that ranked.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. If it doesn't have competitive, it doesn't matter.
I tend to agree with you. If I'm playing anything, comp at least makes me feel like I'm justified in the time I spend. So cool. Well, let us know what you guys are playing as well in the comments. As always, we'd love to invite you guys to come watch the live version of the show on Friday nights with us. If you can't make it, please catch up with us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your guys' podcasts, and let us know what you loved about the show and maybe what you'd like to see us do in the future episodes as well. We wouldn't be here without your guys' support and enjoyment, and so thank you guys for making it out each week.
Yes, and I think that's all we got. Ben, you got anything else?
Nope, that is it. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you. Spread that peace and love. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ben, and we'll see you on next week's episode of the Always Gametime Podcast.